I was just making it through another night on the road. When I realized I wasn't alone, it was just after 2 a.m. when I first saw her. A woman in a torn red hoodie standing alone on the shoulder of Route 50, deep in the Nevada desert, her eyes catching my headlights like glass beads in the dark. And that was the moment everything started to unravel. I've driven long hauls across the country for nearly 20 years, seen my share of weirdos and bad weather, but nothing ever made my skin crawl like that night. She didn't wave, didn't stick out her thumb, just stared as I rumbled past, but something in me screamed to stop, like I'd left a piece of myself behind. Against better judgment, I braked and reversed, engine groaning like it knew I shouldn't. She was gone. Just gone. No footprints in the sand, no lights, no sound but the ticking of my engine and the desert wind slicing through the stillness like a razor. I should have left, but curiosity's a tricky bastard. I got out, called out, flashlights sweeping empty shrubs and cracked earth until it caught something. Fresh blood smeared across the passenger side door I know was clean when I stopped. That was the first time I heard the knocking, faint, rhythmic, like nails tapping metal coming from the trailer. I hadn't picked up a load since Salt Lake, and it was supposed to be empty. My heart thudded. I backed up, unlocked the latch, and swung open the doors, and it was pitch black. The kind of black that swallows light whole. But the air, it was wrong. Thick, sweet, like rotting flowers. I shined my light inside and nearly dropped it when it landed on the back wall. Carved there in what looked like dried blood was a single word: stay. I slammed the doors shut, locked them, and drove without stopping until dawn. But the knocking didn't stop. It followed me for hours, constant and taunting. At a rest stop near Eerie, I finally worked up the nerve to check again. Nothing inside, clean as a whistle. But later that day, I got a call from dispatch asking why I took the detour through Slaughterhouse Canyon. Except I didn't. My GPS log showed I drove straight through it for nearly an hour. Yet I have no memory of doing so. That night, I pulled into a motel, too rattled to keep going, and as I turned off the lights, the room phone rang. It wasn't the front desk. A woman's voice whispered, "You shouldn't have looked," followed by that same damn knocking, now from inside the bathroom wall. I haven't driven since, but last week my rig, impounded months ago, was found idling in a truck stop lot 3 states away, engine running, lights on, and the name Evelyn scratched over and over into the dashboard. I never told anyone that was the name on the woman's locket I found by my driver's seat the morning after Route 51 I never picked up, but somehow still had traces of her blood on it when I turned it in. It started with a radio transmission, crackly, distant, and full of static, as I crossed a fog-drenched patch of Highway 191 in southern Utah, a place locals call the Devil's Spine. And what chilled me most wasn't the voice itself, but that it spoke my name before I even introduced myself. I was hauling a refrigerated load, just another midnight run, when the CB radio hissed to life with a low whisper. "Jake, don't stop." I froze. No one was supposed to be on that frequency. I answered, got nothing but silence, followed by the unmistakable sound of a woman crying, slow, soft, and heart-wrenching. 10 miles later, I saw a rig jackknifed in the ditch, hazard lights pulsing like a heartbeat through the fog. Protocol says to check for survivors, but I swear to God, something inside me screamed run. I pulled over anyway, flashlight in hand, boots crunching on gravel as I approached the cab. The windows were fogged from the inside, and the driver's door was cracked open, swaying just enough to creak. I peeked in and saw the cab was empty. No blood, no signs of a crash, just the lingering smell of burnt hair and something else. Something sweet and foul, like meat left in the sun. Then my flashlight cut out. I tapped it uselessly, and that's when I heard footsteps, light, deliberate, circling my truck. When I turned around, I caught a flash of movement. A figure darting just out of reach, barefoot, long dark hair clinging to pale skin, and a grin that stretched too wide across her face. I bolted for my cab and locked the doors, but as I started the engine, I saw her in the rearview mirror, standing on top of the trailer, looking down at me. I floored it. Drove until sunrise, heart pounding, ears ringing. Thought maybe I imagined it, until I got to my drop point and opened the trailer doors. Half the cargo was gone but not stolen, just missing. No broken locks, no signs of forced entry. And on the back wall, etched in frost, was a handprint, small, childlike, and a message beneath it. "We're not done, Jake." I switched companies, routes, states, stayed off that highway. But the same transmission comes through every few weeks now, always late at night, always the same voice whispering my name. And just last night, while fueling up in Montana, I found a photograph tucked under my windshield wiper. It was me, sleeping in my rig. But what turned my blood cold was the reflection in the side mirror behind me. She's getting closer. They say Interstate 10 through West Texas is lonely, but nothing prepares you for just how empty it feels when your headlights are the only thing keeping the dark from swallowing you whole. And on that particular night, somewhere between Fort Stockton and Van Horn, I realized I wasn't alone out there. I was hauling a load of furniture, making good time, when I saw the road flare up ahead. Just one, burning low, flickering like it was struggling to stay lit. Slowing down, I spotted an old tow truck on the shoulder, hood up, but no sign of the driver. What struck me as odd was how clean the truck was. No dust, no wear, like it hadn't been touched by the desert at all. Against my gut, I pulled over to offer help. As I approached, the air grew unnaturally still. No wind, no engine sounds, just my boots crunching gravel. I called out, but the only reply was the low creak of a swing, coming from the bed of the tow truck, where a rusted porch swing hung by chains, swaying slowly, even though there was no breeze. Then I saw it, someone sitting in it. A boy, maybe 10, facing away from me, his back perfectly straight. I stepped closer, heart hammering. "You okay, kid?" I asked. He turned his head without moving his shoulders, and in the dim light, I saw that his eyes weren't reflecting light. They were absorbing it, like pits of endless black. He didn't speak, but smiled, and as he did, blood began to pour slowly from his mouth, thick and dark, running down his chin without a sound. I stumbled back, ran for my truck, and as I jumped inside and locked the doors, I saw more of them. Figures emerging from the desert on both sides of the road, moving in silence, their shapes flickering like mirages. I peeled out, speeding down the highway, but my GPS started rerouting itself, the map spinning wildly before settling on a red dot labeled home. The coordinates weren't for any place I recognized. Then the radio snapped on. No music, no static, just that same boy's voice whispering, "It's your turn to swing." I drove all night, refused to stop. Even skipped fuel until I coasted into a truck stop running on fumes. I told myself it was stress, exhaustion. But later that morning I checked my trailer. It was locked tight, seal unbroken. Yet in the very back, buried under the cargo tarp, was a length of rusty chain and a single child-sized shoe, still wet with blood.